Welcome, everyone. Huge congratulations to all of our admitted students watching on your acceptance to the University of Rochester, and we're really excited to have you tonight for our session. Today, we're joined by a few representatives from the Hajim School of Engineering and Applied Sciences for you to learn a little bit more about the engineering school and the various majors that you can pursue through the Hajim School of Engineering and Applied Sciences.
Hi, everyone. My name is Nick Valentino. I am an assistant director in the Hajim School of Engineering and Applied Sciences Dean's Office. I've been at the University of Rochester for over 17 years. And if you can't tell by how I say the words cat, dad, or accent, I am a native Rochesterian. We have others on this call who are going to be answering your questions today. We're going to talk a little about questions in a bit. But first, I'm going to have them introduce themselves because they volunteered their time to come and participate and answer your questions both through the Q&A function or we might take some on air to talk in a little bit more detail. So if we could start with Dean Funkenbush, can you introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Paul Funkenbush. I have been at the U of R for more than twice as long as Nick. Uh, I am the Associate Dean in the Hajim School, also a professor in mechanical engineering and a professor of material science.
Hi, I'm Nate Trieste. I'm an academic advisor in Hajim. I mainly work with computer science students.
Hi, my name is Sonia. I'm also an academic advisor in the Hajim Dean's office, and I pretty much work with all sorts of students. I would say that I have quite a bit of a population of engineering science students as well.
Yep. Hi, I'm Alvin Lamivo. I'm the Assistant Dean of Undergraduate Studies, and I work with a mix of students as well, but primarily biomedical engineering and computer science.
So, as you may have heard me say, the engineering school is pronounced the Hajim School. A lot of times we have students call it by all sorts of names. Ed Hajim is a graduate of the University of Rochester with a degree in chemical engineering. He participated in the naval ROTC programs and was a Wall Street executive. He is still very much alive and well, and he has published 2 books, and he will come to campus a few times during the year, and we're hoping he's able to come to commencement this year. Moving on, the purpose of this presentation is to give you a very high-level intro to engineering and the types of opportunities that you're going to have. This presentation is designed for people who have no background in engineering or in Rochester or the University of Rochester. The reason being is that you don't require additional training or coursework in high school to become an engineering student at the University of Rochester. And as we said before, if you'd like to ask a question, please submit it through the Q&A function. It's going to be located at the bottom of your screen. And the panelists are going to answer as many questions as time allows. As you can see, we have our social media on there that you'll be able to follow. We'll also have that at the end of the presentation for you to be able to check out and a various amount of photos of the different areas of the undergraduate experience that our students will be talking about today and that they'll be able to experience. But we first want to acknowledge with respect the Seneca Nation, known as the Great Hill People and the Keepers of the Western Door of the Haudenosaunee Confederacy. We take this opportunity to thank the original caretakers on whose ancestral lands the University of Rochester currently resides in Rochester, New York. All right, what are we doing today? The presentation I have is about the University of Rochester from an engineering and applied science perspective. So the way I will talk about academics, student services, and co-curricular opportunities will have an engineering and applied sciences bent. That being said, we know that for many of you, this is your first introduction to the University of Rochester, and we're happy to answer questions more generally about the university. So what is engineering? I want to start with what is engineering because many students don't have access to an engineering program in their high school. And I want to make sure we're all on the same page. Using a very basic definition from the National Academy of Engineering, engineering is the creation of technical solutions in the interest of humanity and society. So this definition has 3 main components. The first is creation, which really tells us that engineering is about making, inventing, or especially problem solving. The second is technical solutions, which is to distinguish engineering outputs to that of art or journalism, etc., which is also creation. And then there's in the interest of humanity and society. So engineers and applied sciences, they do what they do so that they can make the world a better place for others to live. Some of you may be wondering how engineering compares to fields like biology or chemistry or geology or physics. These are natural sciences, and in general, these subjects are interested in describing and understanding the world around us. Engineers in computer science, they do not work alone. They work together in teams. So some of the context about what makes an engineer or a good computer scientist, you have to have good critical thinking skills. You have to have creativity and ideation, innovation, ethics and integrity, and leadership. Another way to consider what engineering is through the kinds of problems that they seek to explore. And to do this, we use the lens of the grand challenges. So I'll go into the NAE challenges in just a second. The grand challenges for engineering were announced in 2008 as the biggest goals for improving life in the 21st century. With these problems in mind, the University of Rochester goal is to graduate students ready to address these problems, which are among the most complex, interdisciplinary, and interconnected problems that society faces. All right, so I'm going to give you a chance to read these. They fall under 4 themes, making our world more sustainable, healthy, secure, and joyful. We like showing the grand challenges because they are interdisciplinary problems with lots of pathways to start solving them. So if you look at the bottom right, you'll see the Perseverance rover. That falls under the engineering, the tools for scientific discovery. So in order to create the Perseverance rover and get it to Mars, the project team needed mechanical systems, including whatever is needed to launch it from Earth, fly it to Mars, and then the entry, the descent, and the landing system, and then whatever is needed for mechanical, chemical analysis on the surface. It needed electrical components and systems, such as sensors, to support all aspects of the mechanical systems. There are also optical requirements that need to be met, including cameras and other lenses. And of course, it needed plenty of computer scientists. So as you can tell, that's a ton of interdisciplinary work. If you aren't sure about your intended major, see if it lines up with the grand challenge that interests you the most. So if you are someone who is interested in securing cyberspace and you are planning on taking electrical and computer engineering or computer science, you're probably on the right track. If you want to secure cyberspace and your intended major is chemical engineering, it might be worthwhile to investigate this more. And we're going to talk a lot about exploration today as we go forward, but we're going to get into what we offer first. So perhaps the most direct way to study engineering and applied sciences at Rochester is through a major. This fall, we will offer 14 majors, and you'll be given more info about these department sessions through admissions. We certainly don't limit studying engineering and applied sciences to just majors. In fact, many students who end up graduating with majors in arts and sciences learn engineering and applied sciences through a lot of stuff I'll talk about in the next slide. But to give you an example, there's other related majors like archaeology, technology, and historical structures is a major, or digital media studies is one. So you may have been looking at the asterisk and wondering what ABET is. ABET stands for the Accreditation Board for Engineering and Technology. ABET is an international board that offers accreditation to individual academic programs in engineering, computing, technology, and applied sciences. So accreditation by ABET is an assurance that alumni of the undergraduate program meet the quality standards in that profession as outlined by the practitioners and professional societies in that field. It sets students on a great path to become practicing licensed engineers. You will also see new in all caps next to audio arts and technology. I'll get more into this later, but audio arts technology was first offered in 2024 at the University of Rochester. I'll just mention data science too. It's not new. It's new but not new because we've been offering data science courses for over a decade, but this is the first year that the data science is a part of the Hajim School of Engineering and Applied Sciences. Wanted to see if you wanted. We're going to pause for questions. Doesn't look like there's any open questions right now. So perhaps you're interested in some of the areas I mentioned, either on the Grand Challenges slide or in our list of majors. But you have you may have another competing interest and you're not sure if you want to do a full major in engineering or computer science. At University of Rochester, we do offer a number of options to study engineering or computer science that don't lead to a degree. There is a minor. A minor is a set of pre-approved courses in a given field. It's usually about 5 to 8 courses. All of our academic departments offer at least one minor. And it's fairly common for students who have a major in one of the engineering majors to find space for a minor in another discipline. Our newest minor is aerospace, and it lives in the mechanical engineering department. You have the opportunity now picking between 2 different intro courses, one that is the engineering of bridges, and the other one is aerospace related. Because we think that technical exposure and experience is important for all students. In the past few years, we've tried to come up with some interdisciplinary clusters that live in the Hajim School, but may have components in the humanities or social sciences as well. So perhaps you decide you want something in arts and sciences, or maybe the arts and social sciences, and you want to fulfill a cluster requirement in engineering, we have those options that are not just strictly engineering courses. Some of them do include arts and sciences courses. The engineering and technology engineering and technology and antiquity is a popular cluster that can have a study abroad component. We've had a school in Ghana over the past few years. That's the picture in the top right, where students explore engineering, historical, and cultural aspects of a dozen coastal forts in Ghana. So that is one that students typically like. There's a green energy management, which could be for students who are interested at the intersection of business or marketing and sustainable energy. So again, the audience for these clusters are students who will have a major in the arts, humanities, or social science, but are looking for a structured introduction to one of these areas that are broadly open within the field of engineering, optics, or computer science. Then finally, if you don't want a full major or minor or cluster, we do offer around 15 introductory courses in engineering, product design, fabrication, and computer science. And these courses are open to all undergraduates, students enrolled in the University of Rochester, including the Eastman School. And they have no prerequisites. So I'm going to put them on the next slide so you can take a look. I'm going to give you a second to look at these are the different options for introductory courses that we offer. So these are a combination of full credit classes, which for us is 4 credit hours, as well as 2 credit classes. So if you're not sure, how do you plan for your first year? This is a lot to choose from. Your academic advisor is going to help you balance the foundational knowledge and exploratory courses. So most intro courses are common in between majors. So at any point, you're free to change your intended major. Some schools restrict this. We do not. So there is not a separate application to get into the engineering school. And you do not need to do a separate application to get out of the engineering school. And you do not need to do a separate application to go from one engineering to another. I'll talk about this in terms of coursework in just a second. The idea is the understanding that you may not have this perfect when you set foot on campus during orientation. You may still be deciding on gathering information, and that's fine. We have a lot of students that will switch from one engineering to the other in the first semester, in the second semester. The more semesters you get in, the more academic planning it's going to take. It does get a little bit more restrictive as you further go on, but really that first year, we want to make sure that you can move more freely in between either engineerings or into arts and sciences. So I'm going to give you more of an example of what I was just talking about. So you look in the fall, this is general. So the intro engineering and applied sciences course is going to be for all of the majors. You're going to have a math. Typically that is calculus, unless you're starting in computer science or data science. There's going to be a science, which is in most cases, chemistry. And then there's a writing or an elective. Everyone takes the Writing 105 course. If you do not find a topic that you like in that semester, you could take it in the spring. So the reason why is to be able to make these in between, the jump between one to the other without having to spend it into additional semesters here. So in the spring, it's another engineering and applied science course or a different science. It's another calculus course. And then it's either another science, in some cases it's a second chemistry, depending on if you're, say, biomedical engineering or chemical engineering. And then there's another elective, or if you want to take the writing in the spring. The math is going to depend on your intended major and your high school experience and your reported scores. Like we said, it could be chemistry. Typically, students don't take physics until the spring. I do want to highlight 2 curricular options to help you explore your interests or better find your footing. So the CAS 104 is getting course credit for determining what you want to do in your life. Who knew you could earn college credit for that? It really is using the resources of the college, the university, the career center to get a better understanding of what you want. The Writing 105, as I said, is required. There are many different topic options. Some of our engineers and computer sciences are not very fond of writing, so at least there's a section where they can write about engineering. All right, so I talked about the grand challenges in general, but the University of Rochester actually has a program where you can explore these problems and challenges in greater depth. Over the course of your time at the University of Rochester, you can complete your degree, and then on top of that, be recognized by the college as a Grand Challenges Scholar by choosing one of the Grand Challenges and then completing 5 different kinds of experiences around that challenge. So you may choose something like provide access to clean water or engineering better medicines. Your experiences relate to a theme. This is like kind of like an umbrella where you have this grand challenge and then there's all these aspects that you'll do in order to become a grand challenges scholar. All right, so students usually join the program in their second year by proposing a set of experiences around one challenge in 5 dimensions. There's research, interdisciplinary experience, entrepreneurship or innovation, a global dimension, and service learning. So you don't actually need to be a major in engineering or applied sciences to be a grand challenges scholar. We have had students graduate the program with degrees in business analytics or brain and cognitive science, political science, economics, and digital media studies. So on our profile, we're going to have profile on our website. We're going to have profiles of the students who have participated in the program. This is a capstone program. As scholars are recognized and commencement weekend with a medal. It is a more organized, structured way for you to do exploration. So other ideas for exploration beyond or instead of the grand challenges, you can get exposed to research. We are a Research One school. Most of your faculty, I say most, almost all of your engineering faculty will be working on research. You'll have the opportunity to speak with them one-on-one and possibly visit, and in some cases, work in their labs. As we speak, major specific internship opportunities are being compiled by the Career Center to help you with your search. So instead of you just searching all over the internet for all these different opportunities, the Career Center tries to organize them by major so that you can narrow your search and focus more on the quality of your applications rather than trying to find these opportunities. There are global experiences. More traditionally, you will hear them called study abroad. We have our traditional study abroad program as well as shorter experiences, which could be 4 to 6 weeks, summer experiences, or even 1 to 2 weeks during winter break. There are plenty of student organizations, either through your major or affinity groups like the Society of Women Engineers, the National Society for Black Engineers, the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers. There are hands-on groups like Solar Splash, which create a solar-powered boat and then travel to an annual competition. They travel to the competition and then they race the boat. They don't actually travel to the competition on the boat. We have a robotics group. We have Engineers Without Borders. So you're going to have a lot of student groups to choose from that are engineering and applied sciences related. You can get direction for entrepreneurship at the AIN Center, AIN Center, which educates the whole university on developing and applying an entrepreneurial mindset. We have a lot of students who are interested in entrepreneurship, and so we have a set place for them to be able to go and share their ideas. So community engaged learning combines teaching, research, and practice with one or more partner organizations in the Rochester area that provide students with meaningful opportunities to connect their learning with civic identity. This allows you to learn more about the issues facing our communities locally as well as regionally and nationally. Now, major declaration doesn't take place until sophomore year. So you can use these experiences in these areas to help determine your academic and career path. A major difference between high school and college is that in college, you'll likely have more options for exploration outside the classroom. After doing some of this exploration, you might still be undecided on which engineering to take, or you don't prefer one engineer over another. We have a few options for you if you decide to go a different route. The first is engineering science. So engineering science, it's a BA degree that provides a flexible and interdisciplinary experience for students who wish to broaden their learning across disciplines in the liberal arts. Its mission is to educate students and develop and convey solutions to multidimensional problems which require scientific, technological, global, and social perspectives. So this will teach you the same problem-solving techniques that other engineering majors will teach, but the understanding is that you might be wanting to apply that problem-solving technique to a non-engineering problem. It gives you a strong background for students who want to pursue careers in technical sales, which you can make a ton of money doing, public service, management, entrepreneurship. For example, it's designed with students in mind who might be interested in being able to converse with technical folks, but not necessarily the ones who are doing the day-to-day engineering. it's going to prepare you for a wide range of jobs with government, private consultant companies, a variety of major industries. Additionally, graduates have had success in admission to graduate schools in medicine, law, business education, and social sciences. Some of you may have heard of a Bachelor of Engineering. This is more common outside of the United States. It's called a Bachelor of Engineering. Engineering science is a different degree. A Bachelor of Engineering is a professional degree, where engineering science is a liberal arts degree. The engineering science curriculum has a depth in engineering, but also it prioritizes depth in the humanities and social sciences. The engineering science degree, it's a broad foundation in sciences and associated math, which underline engineering such as mechanics, electricity and magnetism, fluid and thermodynamics, computation and analysis, circuits, and chemistry. So students who start in engineering science are encouraged to take the Introductory in Engineering Applied Sciences course that they are most interested in, along with a math, in first case calculus. This way you get exposure to engineering and you can decide where your academic path will take you. If it does lie in engineering science, we could explore that more. Whereas engineering science focuses on engineering as applied to arts and sciences, the interdepartmental engineering program requires more technical courses and technical sequencing of courses that achieve the students' educational objectives. Recent technological and economic and social developments have significantly extended the range of problems to which engineering skills and methodologies must be applied. Problems in environmental quality, transportation systems, housing and urban planning, among others. They challenge students to develop programs combining technical knowledge with social and political awareness. So examples of this are things like high energy density physics or AR/VR. We recommend the interdepartmental engineering program when you do want to focus on this as a part of your major, but also have a large amount of the traditional engineering courses. The interdisciplinary disciplinary engineering curriculum, the major requires that students are also complete 3 sequences of technical courses of their own choosing, and students must complete an independent study project that culminates into a written senior thesis or design project. So you have to get this approved by faculty. It is something that takes a lot of preparation to be able to do, but where if you do have so many competing interests, or if you have if you're talking about AR, VR, and you want to do chemistry and electrical and computer engineering and find that you can't do both, or you want to apply that to have an arts and sciences component to, the interdisciplinary program is a good option for students. I'm going to give you some of the examples of IDE programs, as we call it. They're less common as students find their existing major and minor combinations are enough for them to get where they want to go. So robotics combines electrical and computer engineering and computer science, but students might find that they're more interested in software than they are hardware, and they choose computer science over electrical and computer engineering, but might want to minor in electrical and computer engineering. So while interdisciplinary engineering might suit your inter-engineering interests, it has a challenging workload that mirrors other engineering major requirements. All right, so there's a new major that falls under electrical and computer engineering and audio and music engineering. It's a BA, but as the first bullet shows, it's going to provide you with the creative and expressive abilities and technical skills to build careers in many fields in which this sound and audio are central. It includes music recording and media production, sound design for media and games, live event support, broadcasting, acoustic analysis, and design of the built and natural environments, consumer product design and development in areas ranging from healthcare to law. AAT, it gives flexibility to combine students in audio arts and audio technology with music, business and economics, media studies, studio arts, English and film studies, biology, psychology, and many other areas that intersect the field of sound and audio. So as you can see, the program is relatively new. It's less technical than audio and music engineering. It has this broad foundation in music and audio and in music engineering. And then there's also a required senior capstone project related to the skills and background acquired. So you might be asking, where does this lead? We are in the process of discovering this. Why do you think about developments we have had in sound quality, but how do those engineers get those developments out to the world? So we had a professor who created this flat panel speaker. It looked like a painting. It was like a real painting. And he was excited about this development, didn't know exactly what the painting should look like or how to get out to the world or how to market it and like what sort of aesthetic improvements and would that sacrifice the technology. There's this whole side to audio that is focused on the technical side of sound improvement. We need people with an understanding of the technical side, but also fields on which the audio needs development outside of engineering. So in this case, all the things that had to go and how the product looked rather than how it actually performed or sounded is where we're intending that audio arts and technology graduates might be able to apply. So we're excited about this. There's going to be more information about this in the future. Just want to show this just to give you an understanding. The blue is audio and music engineering versus audio arts technology. If you look at the level of courses, and especially on the right in math and physics, it's significantly more is in audio and music engineering than there is audio arts technology. And there's a significant more amount in audio production and recording. Now, engineering and computer science and data science are all about problem solving. So think about which problems you want to solve, and we'll help you determine which educational path you should take. So how do we do that? How do we support you with that? This is a lot. You may be thinking, am I prepared for this? How do I navigate this all by myself? You don't. So we have no expectation or requirement that you have an engineering and applied sciences background before you come to the University of Rochester. Many students do not take engineering or computer science course in high school. Many don't bring in advanced placement, AP courses, or IB credit or transfer credit. It is very common for students to come in without any of that credit before they start. We care a lot about your success in the first year. We care a lot about your success all 4 years, but especially the first year as you navigate your options. So we have tiered advising model, which so you're going to have different advisors for different areas. For example, like large classes have tiered learning with smaller workshops or recitations. Recitations are like professionally guided study groups. We also encourage you to join or create formal or informal study groups to be able to have these different size groups to be able to understand the content and make sense of it. We also do checkup points throughout the first year, especially to make sure that you're doing okay. We put a premium on your learning outside the classroom. So our office, and I talked a little about this before, takes pride in the pre-professional societies or affinity organizations and design groups to help you find community and explore engineering outside the classroom. So you're going to have some degree of access and opportunity to these listed institutions inside the university. Just remember, you don't have to you don't have to learn all of this now, and you don't have to do this alone. We just want to give you some idea of the resources that you'll have. So with resources comes advice. Or you're going to get a lot of advice. You're going to get a college advisor from starting in the summer before you get here on. If you choose engineering, you're also going to get a faculty advisor and help from an undergraduate program advisor. You'll get advice from professional advisors like those in the Career Center or Financial Aid or the Office of Minority Student Affairs. Your fellow students will be advisors. We have peer advisors, peer career advisors, resident advisors, first-year fellows, peer health advocates. So you'll find answers to questions from a lot of people, and you will learn their roles as you progress, which advisors to ask which questions. I like this. College is much more than classroom work. I don't mean much more in addition to. I mean it's a broader scope. The solution in high school was often take more in harder courses. Now the solution is to utilize the university, the resources of the university to help you understand your academic and career path. So all of these options contribute to helping you discover who you are and who you want to be. So remember that some of these efforts won't give you course credit, but they're going to give you perspective, which is often more valuable. So if you do have a student employment or you work in one of the departments, it's not going to give you college credit. They would be able to pay you for it, But it also can have you understand responsibility a little bit better. We have over 90% of our students do internships, which is another way to learn perspective. Most of those are done during the summer. So where does this all lead? All right, I know some of you aspiring scientists really like data. I was going to give you some really brief data. I'm going to leave this up for a second. These are things I do want to highlight. These are self-reported from seniors. But as we are a Research One school, we do have a lot of students looking to continue their education. So one of the things we're frequently asked by parents as well as students is what happens to you after you graduate. So these are some of the examples of what students are doing and at what companies, and the list is growing as our students continue to report their successes that they've attained after leaving the University of Rochester. All right, we're going to answer one live. How many different advisors might be assigned to a student? Does the change of advisors each year cause any discontinuities? So you'll be assigned a college advisor. So if you're in the engineering school, that will be somebody typically from the Hajim Dean's office. There are a few advisors outside of there who are going to help you with navigating your first semester courses and the resources that are available to your first year. The goal is that if you stay in engineering or applied sciences, that college advisor will stay with you all 8 semesters that you're here. You'll be assigned a faculty advisor because if I'll take myself, for example, I am not an engineer. I know a lot about engineering in terms of the opportunities and resources that you have, but in the field, and if you're interested in going and get your graduate degree and where you go, you're going to want to have that conversation with faculty, and it's a lot more consistent if you can have it with the same faculty going on. So the idea is that your faculty and your college advisor would stay the same over the course of 4 years. Yes, people do leave, or yes, people do change majors. We try to keep some sort of continuity for you the entire time. It's very important because we want you to have somebody else outside of engineering too. Like, for example, if you decide, hey, listen, I really thought I loved optics, turns out I don't. You want to have a conversation with your college advisor who says, okay, let's figure out where your next destination is. So they might change, but we try to keep them as consistent and as possible.
I'll just interject. Unless
Oh, yeah,
you
please.
change majors or unless someone leaves the university, you'll likely have the same advisor the whole way through. When I've been a faculty advisor, all my students have continued with me for all 4 years. So there's very little turnover unless somebody leaves the university.
I want to talk a little bit about, so when you join the University of Rochester, it's much more than just joining like a university or school. You're going to be joining a network of alumni. It's called the Meliora Collective. The Meliora Collective it's an online platform that allows you access to the University of Rochester community. So all of these people that are in the same position of you, if you choose to come to the University of Rochester, they want to share their successes, their opportunities, their perspective. So you're not just joining the University of Rochester, you're joining all the alum before you. Make meaningful connections in your field or region or industry. They divide them in different ways, just so you can figure out which sort of access you want. It's going to strengthen your network as a University of Rochester community. You have more defined filters and results than LinkedIn. And you're going to find a group that expands your interests. So these are available by academic focus, athletics, industry. There's a lot of different areas in which the Meliora Collective is divided for you to be able to find out which people you want to reach out to. So before I end the presentation and go into more questions, we're a part of the University of Rochester, which it also includes 2 hospitals. It includes an art gallery, a business school, a school of education, numerous outpatient facilities. And the coolest part is pictured here, an enormous laser, right? You have to be pretty high up to fire the laser. I have never been asked to. I've asked if I could. They did not respond. The point is that if you come to the University of Rochester, it's not just joining a school. It's not just a school for undergraduates. In order to make all the entities of the University of Rochester work, we need graduate and undergraduate students from across the United States, and we have them from 81 countries around the world. We truly believe that diversity of background and thought and life experience is a path forward to solving the world's problems. So we hope you will join us in the pursuit to make this world ever better, meliora, as we say. With that, I will open it up for questions. I'm going to give you these are contact info for the individual departments. There's our social media info as well. Those contacts are contacts for the undergraduate coordinators in each department. If you do have follow-up questions, you could also email us at the Hajim School at ur.rochester.edu. In addition to doing this, I work with optical engineering students and some chemical engineering students. I work with student organizations. I work with, I'm the advisor to the Navy ROTC program. So there's a lot of parts of the university that we have some contact with. We have a lot of campus partners that we want to achieve our goals with together. I'll give it another few seconds for any more questions. There we go. ThinkBox accessible does Rochester have a makerspace or ThinkBox? And if so, how accessible is it for students wanting to make personal projects? So we have Retner Machine Shop is one of them. What's Retner, like 5 years old? I think. Is it older than that? Yeah, it's about 5 years old. Where they do have a space under direction. You have to get training and all that. But we do have Jim Alkins heads up the Retner Machine Shop. He used to be a machinist at Kodak. I said it from Rochester. When I was a kid, everyone's parents worked at Kodak. Now they all work at the University of Rochester. But towards the end of his career, Jim moved from Kodak over to the University of Rochester to be able to share his expertise in how to use the heavy machinery. We do have some other resources. We have AR, VR stuff help me out, Paul. I'm trying to think what
I can never remember the name of the center. I want to say X something, but I can't. Studio X.
Studio X, that's right. Thank you. It's the end of the day for us, as you can probably tell. There is work done in Design Day that you will have the opportunity to do for the engineering majors in their last year. They work with someone from outside the University of Rochester, typically on a project together. Where you'll have that as a part of your program. There is a UR Makers Club, which just focuses on that. They decide projects that they want to see if they can make together. A lot of this is done as parts of your experience here, not necessarily a course that you'll take. So you'll be able to get this instruction. You'll have some hands-on work, especially in labs, but you'll have these other resources that you can use somewhat at your discretion. As we said before, we want to make sure you have the proper training so everybody walks out with the same amount of arms and legs as they went in with when they used the machine shop, especially. We do have computing within Retner too that is also available to students over a long period of time. So we do have a lot of this for you to be able to use. What is difficult to enroll in engineering courses for students in other schools?
Yes. So it's very straightforward. Engineering students take classes in the other schools. The other schools students can take classes in engineering. Typically, the main restriction would just be prerequisites. So except for the introductory course, it's hard to jump from, I don't know, an English major into a sophomore or junior level engineering course. But other than that, there's no restriction. Nick was just mentioning training. So we also have a couple courses which are designed specifically to let students learn how to use the machine shop, for example. And they're 2 credits. Those are open to students across the university. So there's a good chance to take courses like that, as well as taking the introductory engineering courses.
Great. We'll give it another few seconds for any more questions.
If you have questions about engineering in general, not necessarily U of R engineering, we'd also be happy to try to answer those. What's the difference between chemical engineering and mechanical engineering? That's an example.
Do I choose computer science or electrical and computer engineering? That's another big one that we get a lot. And it's nice that we do have the aerospace option too, where if students are interested in aerospace, they can have that start and then go into mechanical engineering Oh, we got one more. All right. Would students have priority to enroll in courses in that school? And then students in a school would have priority to enroll in courses in that school, then it might be difficult for them in other schools. If you're talking about taking courses at a different institution while you're here, we don't typically do that. We don't encourage that because what I talked before about the accreditation, the ABET accreditation is going to guarantee that we have all the courses that you have all the courses that you need for accredited majors. So there's not anything in addition that you're going to need. If it's within the university, like there's no restriction for you to take other courses in arts and sciences other than, and this is what I like about college versus high school, like whether or not you should do this. So if you have a full semester of, let's say, electrical and computer engineering courses, and you want to take a physics course, an advanced physics course, it might not be a good idea during certain semesters because the courses that semester were designed to be taken together. So you're going to have a lot of opportunity for things that you can do, but whether or not you should take those other courses is going to be something that you discuss with your advisors as you go along. So you're able to take, you will actually be required to take courses in arts and sciences in addition to take courses in engineering.
So I'll just jump in here. For the most part, there aren't like caps that are going to be restricting for most of the courses. So the introduction to mechanical engineering course, for example, or the introduction to aerospace engineering, there's no limit on how many students can take it within reason, right? So we've never had to turn students away from those courses. Every now and then, there are a few courses like that. So English, your introductory English course, that's a small section. It's like 10 or 15 students, and they have a topic. So one course might be Shakespeare, another one might be Tolkien. Those typically you could get shut out of. So it's just kind of a first come, first served basis. But most of the courses, there's enough capacity that we can take students from all the way across the school, or all the university.
Yeah, I mean it is good that I mean a lot of they may have like sections of a lab that you would prefer, like you would prefer maybe one's at 10 o'clock and that might get closed out, and then there's one at 11 o'clock, or probably in more cases there's one at 9 o'clock, which is a lot less popular than some of the other ones. Also, you're going to have the opportunity, some of the courses may be on like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday versus a Tuesday, Thursday. So the Monday, Wednesday, Friday ones would be shorter, and the Tuesday, Thursday would be longer. You're going to learn a lot about how you work, right? What way, are you good at getting up in the morning and doing this? Do I like it when my courses are closer together? You're going to have some discretion with where your courses are because we do have a lot of sections to accommodate students.
Thank you so much, Nick, and to Professor Funkenbush and to our two Hajim academic advisors for your time tonight and for connecting with our admitted students to the university. For my admitted students who are watching, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to connect with us. If you are interested in learning even more about academic and student life here at the university, you are always welcome to reach out directly to the admissions office by email. You can reach out to the specific department advisors that were listed in the presentation today. You can also check out some of our other Yellow Jacket Experience events right on our admissions website. Thank you so much, and we hope to welcome you all to the university this fall.